please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
These pictures that you're seeing are coming in from India Gate, Rini. You recognize these pictures more than I do. This is the live feed that Doordarshan has now started beaming in, and all television networks will cut across to it. Unfortunately, not a very bright day. Just take a look at the pictures. You have, there's still some fog, and it worries me that the fly past will be cancelled if it doesn't clear up in the next half hour, 40 to 45 minutes. Just talk us through what we are expecting, to see over the next couple of hours.
Historically, Shreya, we start on a day which is usually very dull, and sometimes you even have rain on the previous night.
It's happened a couple of times in the last 3 to 4 years.
And miraculously, it clears up by the time we reach for the flypast, which is at the end of the ceremony. So we begin with the guests being ceremonially brought down Rajpath, the central vista, to the saluting base, and they wait there while the Prime Minister leads the nation by paying homage to the fallen soldiers at the India Gate, where you have the eternal flame, Amar, Jawan, Jyoti, which is always alive and lit. After paying homage there, you've got the Inter-Services Guard, which gives him a salute and a salute to the soldiers. And then he signs in the visitor's book there, marking the day and the time and the sentiment behind that particular ceremony. Drives back to the saluting base, by which time the President with the visiting dignitaries arrive, and then the parade begins. So it's only till the President doesn't occupy the saluting days that we don't start the parade. But essentially, the parade starts with the Prime Minister coming down and paying homage at the Amar Jawan Jyoti. So this is essentially what happens.
What will happen in the next 2 hours or so. A quick word on Doordarshan. It's a day they shine,
Absolutely.
On a normal day they will not, but this is one day they shine.
Well, of course.
It's flawless. They've done it a million times, I know that. Just talk to us about the sort of preparations that
and they've upped up their technical prowess. I mean, you've got vantage points for their cameras, and the camera persons really outshine at this moment. You've got commentary that happens live from the saluting days, and Doordarshan, being the premier and the public broadcaster that it is a day for them. So they really do well. They really do a fantastic job, and some of the shots that they catch are just incredible. Goosebumpy shots, as I call them.
I completely agree with you. These pictures are coming to us live from Rajpath. Little children wearing caps with the tricolour on them, already there with their parents. I think it's an exciting day for kids. I remember going as a child 3 years in a row. It was great fun. I don't know if children, obviously by the pictures that are coming in, children still go and they still enjoy it. I wonder how many of them are Delhi kids and how many actually come from. Do we ever have a breakup of that?
I don't know whether you can actually break it up as such, but there's a difference in the parade today and the parades of the yore. When we had the lawns of Rajpath with the children sitting on them.
I remember sitting on the lawns. Yeah,
yes, we had
clapping that was spread. Past.
Exactly. So now you've got seated, arrangements for them. It's rather cold to be on a dari on the floor, but yes, interestingly, you've got a huge battalion of children, which used to attract the politicians who arrived, and primarily Pandit Nehru and Mrs. Gandhi used to make it a point to walk down to meet the children and shake hands or exchange a wave or two with them. So that was, the days when you didn't have such security problems.
But the scheduling would have gone for a 6.
No, I think it was,
and the timing is out of the window.
She or he would always find time for the children there. So I don't think it would ever throw a spoke in the wheel.
Given the security concerns and given the world we live in, I wonder whether President Kovind or Prime Minister Modi can, come down and shake hands with kids. I don't think that's possible, given the security situation across the world, not just in India, but across the world. I wonder if Maha Siddiqui is still with us. I'm going to go to her in just a bit. But these are shots that are coming in from the Rajpath. We just we saw, I don't think we are seeing them on our screens now, but we saw soldiers in combat uniform. They were offering some sort of prayers to the equipment that would, I think, ultimately be paraded down. I did see those pictures, Rini. I know you're looking surprised, but I did see some pictures of. I'm going to get General Jaiswal in. General Jaiswal, is it a done thing that before you take your arms and armament out, there's a little puja that is performed? Because those are some pictures I saw that came in a couple of minutes ago, and I wonder whether we can play them again.
For the armed forces, Shastra is a very, very sacred thing. It is the instrument through which we perform our task. And anything which is sacred, it's as per our tradition that we perform puja before we exercise anything with our weapon. So it's a norm, it's a respect to this instrument which is going to provide us safety and also ensure that the safety of the nation is preserved. So puja is a very sentimental thing, and it's a norm. We have, like in Dashera in my unit, for instance, I've got 50% Gurkhas and 50 Dogras, and there we have Shastra Puja, a formal ceremony. So it's nothing surprising. We do respect our weapon systems to stand by us in the hour of need. So we do puja of our Shastra.
Okay, so that puts it in context then. What we saw on our screens was Shastra Puja before these arms and armaments are actually taken out, mounted, and then they'll ultimately, we'll see them be paraded on Rajpath. General Jaiswal, a quick personal question to you. Have you been a part of these parades as a young army officer? What has been your role, and what's the feeling like to be part of something that the whole nation is watching and with such great pride?
It's a matter of great pride to walk down the lane and the Janpath, the Rajpath. But I was unfortunate. I never got a chance to lead the contingent of the Jack Rifles. But notwithstanding, every time you see the parade, the enormity of the parade, the enormity of the armed forces, the potency of the armed forces, you do get goose pimples and you have a sense of pride. We are a strong nation. Whether you are Hazir on ground or you're watching on the TV, every second you feel a moment of pride that this is our nation, how strong we are. And it gives tremendous amount of sentiments which get imbibed within you. But I've been unfortunate, I've never seen the parade. And as a matter of fact, even when I was in Delhi, I could have gone, but I could not go for the parade.
Really, your sentiments as well. It's a day I look forward to. It's one day in the year I look forward to getting up in the morning, switching on. In these last 8 years, I've been here in studio watching, watching the parade with people like you who know the parade so intimately. But your heart really swells with pride when you see those pictures come in, when you see the contingents march so smartly, when you see the arms, armaments, and then the jharkis, the tableaus that come in. It's something that fills your heart with pride. It makes you feel good.
Yeah, Shreya, I mean, irrespective of whether you have been in the armed forces or you're a daughter or a son of the armed forces, this is a day when every Indian, irrespective of caste, creed, color, or following, is a part of a large exercise. It's a day when you look at that flag and it gives you new meaning. It's a day when you look at uniform and it, like you just said, I mean, your heart swells with pride. Every inch and every part of the flag, every inch and every part of the entire parade, whether it is starting from Rashtrapati Bhavan or down to India Gate or going right up to Red Fort, every part of that parade, from the dog squad to the camels, to the equipment, to the armament, to the school children, to the aircraft that fly, every part of that parade gives dignity, pomp, and a huge show to what a nation is. It's a display. It's actually a display which goes out not just in India but worldwide. And you can look down and see achievements. You can see future hope. You can see so much that a nation has achieved over a period of time. So it's really a statement, and it's not a statement that you can ignore. Every child who's gone to school and taken part in singing the national anthem and watching that flag go up, and eaten the samosa and come home, remembers that day with immense pride. So I don't think it has anything to do with being in the army or not being in the army.
And every year,
yes,
on Republic Day or maybe a day later or a day before, you have an editorial, at least one I'll read about the relevance of a celebration like this.
Correct.
Why do you need to spend those many resources, that much of money, that amount of time to arrange for something which is a logistical challenge? General Jaiswal, where do you stand on that debate? Every year, I was just telling Rini, every year you have editorials questioning why we need celebrations like the Republic Day. Tell us why you think it's important. I think it's very important. It gives you a sense of who you are, where you come from. It's also a day to collectively celebrate your country and your Indianness. But where do you stand on that debate?
Rini said it beautifully well. No caste, creed, anything. In my opinion, the Republic Day parade symbolizes the strongest line in our constitution. In the preamble, we the people. I think this symbolizes that strength which lies in this line, we the people. Here we have a conglomeration of people from all castes, creed, and from all states, etc. There are jhankis, there are troops for whom there is only one religion, a national flag. There is no religion. There is patriotism, that's the religion. It symbolizes the strength in this very line, we the people. So I think it's extremely, extremely important because this is the day we got our fundamental rights. So I think in every way, the Republic Day parade, it symbolizes a lot of sentiments, it evokes a lot of sentiments, and Rini had summed up beautifully well, irrespective whether you're in the armed forces or not, related to the armed forces or not, it is that nationalism and patriotism which gets evoked on when you watch the parade. And I can assure you, anyone who watches the parade, well, you do get goose pimples, and you're indeed very thrilled.
That reversed rifle standing on its barrel and crested by a soldier's helmet symbolizes the Amar Jawan Jyoti, that is the immortal soldier. Those pictures coming in this morning from there. We've just seen the defense minister of the country. I spotted NSA, Ajit Doval as well, the three chiefs, Rini. Essentially, this means at around, so it's 9:25. And the Prime Minister then should be arriving in the next 5 to 7 minutes, less than that, possibly at the Amar Jawan Jyoti.
That's right. You also need to mention that you've got the names of the soldiers who've fallen on that facade that you see of the India Gate. Each one of them named, some of them unnamed, who were mentioned on that facade. And you've got the Inter-Services Guard, all three wings of the armed forces present there to give the salute. The last post to be played, and the Prime Minister paying homage at that Amar Jawan Jyoti.
And the last post is significant. I don't think many people know it's significant. Could you talk to us about that? For children who are watching, for viewers who are just joining us, you're seeing those pictures come in. Is that the Prime Minister walking out? Yes, I think that is the Prime Minister walking out. He's just arrived at the Amar Jawan Jyoti. There's Nirmala Sitharaman right behind him, the first full-time woman defense minister of this country. So in that sense, unprecedented as well. I think it's her first Republic. Of course, it's her first Republic Day as the defense minister. She's just 4 years old in the ministry.
And another symbol of pride that we take, because we've also got women now in the armed forces, and a growing number of them.
Three training as fighter pilots.
Yes,
three actually inducted as fighter pilots, two who are under training, and now the army has opened up its ranks for women in the military police. So that's still not combat roles, but at least a little window has been opened. That's Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Amar Jawan Jyoti. Let's listen in.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी अमर शहीदों को श्रद्धा सुमन अर्पित करने के पश्चात आगंतुक पुस्तिका में अपने विचार व्यक्त करते हुए राष्ट्र का अमर जवान के प्रति कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन।
Time leaves us with many things, stories, memories and heroes. And here under the arch of India Gate, courage and valor.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a rather colourful pagadi this morning, signing on the visitors book. We saw a 2-minute silence there. It's usually after the last post. It's in fact always after the last post. What's the significance?
Well, the silence is in memory of the martyrs that have sacrificed their lives for our freedom and for various wars that were fought. It's a moment also to kind of rethink, think about what is next. You talked about this morning the BSF not offering sweets to Pakistan. We're surrounded by neighbours, some of whom we have problems with. We've got 10 heads of state who are here from the South Asian Association of Nations. This is the moment when you actually take stock of what has happened in the past and what is the way forward. You remember the people who've sacrificed their lives, and you take that into account as you consider every incursion, as you consider every violation of peace that you would face and you don't want to face. So the choices that you would make, you will take all that into account. It's not simply he slapped me so I slap him back kind of reaction. No nation wants to take a knee-jerk reaction to any such incident. So it's a moment that is coloured with a lot of thoughts. Primarily thoughts of state, thoughts of a nation as a whole, and weighing in the contributions made by many people, some unnamed. So it's a very
many unsung as
heroes,
well.
yes,
170.
as well.
It's a day as we see these pictures come in from, we've just seen them from Amar, Jawan, Jyoti. Also a day to remember all the 170 soldiers who lost their lives either in the Kashmir Valley or fighting left-wing extremism, or who have lost their lives in the northeast. It's a day to remember all those 170 soldiers who lost their lives last year. And it's been a bloody start in the valley, Rini. 8 have lost their lives in the beginning of the year. That's till 26 January, till today.
That's right. It's also a day, Shreya, which is symbolic. You know, this is the day when the civilians get to see how we honor our soldiers. Usually these ceremonies are private within the army, within the armed forces, and the civilians are not part of it. So today is a day when you actually get to see the might of the armed forces and also how we honor our dead and how we honor the sacrifices that they have made.
This, I think, these are pictures from Nitin Gadkari's residence. If I'm not mistaken,
That's right.
I can't spot him. Is that Nitin Gadkari? Yes, I think that is
yes,
Nitin Gadkari. Yes. But as of now, the Prime Minister and other dignitaries, they are driving towards the saluting dais.
Yes.
Should be there in the next couple of minutes.
Yes.
The chiefs will go.
The chiefs will go there before to receive the Prime Minister
the
as he
Raksha
comes.
Mantri as well.
Yes, yes.
And the Prime Minister comes in, then he will
be introduced to them, and then he proceeds to meet members of his cabinet and other people, and then walks up to the saluting dais, and the President comes in state. So he will be accompanied by the President's Republic.
Chief guests come in after the President, or do they come in before the President?
The President, I don't know how they're going to do it this time, but obviously there are 10 of them, so they have to come in before the President eventually arrives. He probably will be the last. And they'll probably go alphabetical. So they'll start with Brunei, I suppose, being the first in the alphabet, and then end with Thailand. So
it's never happened. 10 chief guests has not happened. You were pointing out that
we've had 2 years where we've had
occasion.
2. Yeah, we've had 2 years when we've had 2 chief guests. This is completely unprecedented.
That's Rajnath Singh, Home Minister. Not there yet. He's expected, of course, he's the Home Minister of the country. He will be there at Rajpath as well. But these pictures coming in live from the Amar Jawan Jyoti.
That's right.
This is Amar Jawan Jyoti, India Gate. Is Maha Siddiqui through with us? I quickly want to ask her about. Okay, I don't think Maha Siddiqui is with us. She tracks foreign affairs with us, so I'm sure she's running around trying to get in some pictures. as these 10 very important people, and there you have it. There you have it, and you were right, Rini, the sky is clearing up a bit, and the Prime Minister in his rather colourful pagadi, I wonder where it's from. Is it from Gujarat? Is it from Rajasthan? Rajasthan is an election-bound state, and he's known to make, political statements in his pagadi.
I think we should go by the fact that there are colours from, the rainbow in it, and so he's trying to be as inclusive as possible.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. That's one positive way to look at it. That's his Range Rover arriving at the saluting dais, and the three chiefs are already there. I can spot Amit Shah in the audience. There was some controversy about where Rahul Gandhi will be seated.
That's right.
I hope it has resolved itself. Seating, I mean, have you had occasions where, VIPs have come and said, why are we on the fourth row? Why are we not on the first?
No, you don't have a choice because it's completely monitored, and they know exactly who is supposed to be seated. You can see the cabinet members already there.
Mr.
Ravi Shankar Prasad
and Mr. Nadda, JP Nadda there on your screens as well.
Yes, so you have enclosures where you've got the cabinet, where you've got other political parties, you've got the diplomats, you've got the ambassadors from various countries, you have very important people also attending the parade. And as you can see, the Prime Minister arriving, received by Mrs. Sitaraman, and being introduced to the chiefs. And the saluting dais is really beautifully dressed up. As you can see, overnight we have flowers that bloom, and the CPWD does a fantastic job of getting that place spruced up, and you've got flowers of all shades, and you've got turf, which is not real, but it's there. So you'll get to see a blooming Delhi, as it were, and you can see the colours in the Prime Minister's pagadi, really, really beautiful.
This is the reaction the Prime Minister usually gets. He comes to a place and you have people, who just want to stand and, possibly get a picture. You want to see him, you want a selfie with him. In a situation like this, of course, a selfie is not possible, but there he is waving to the crowds, and the crowds waving right back. It's a cold day in Delhi. So for so many people to have turned up says something about what they're,
It always amazes me, Shreya, because you think about the difficulties that you encounter when you come in for an event like this, because security is really, really
5
tight.
layers of security.
Yes, so you're not allowed any food items, you're not allowed to bring in anything to eat or to read, or you're not allowed mobile phones. So it's very, very difficult for people to come here and occupy themselves for that long, in the cold, with no shelter whatsoever. Very tough, very tough. And yet they come in droves. The tickets for such events are sold out. The stands are filled. It's very difficult to get yourself a pass. No longer are passes available because everything has to be accounted for.
Correct.
And double checked and security cleared.
Correct. Every year, really, it's and these are pictures of President Kovind at the Rashtrapati Bhavan.
With the President's bodyguard. And
the magnificent President's bodyguard, the oldest and the senior most regiment of the Indian Army.
And very skilled.
Very skilled. They're not just skilled horsemen, they're also tankmen, they're from the Armored Corps.
That's right.
All of them handpicked, all of them over
6
feet tall.
Yes.
All of them over 6 feet tall. Let's listen in.
The President will now be escorted to his car.
Today is truly a rare special day, a historic day, and a proud moment for every Indian. As we await the arrival of our honored 10 heads of state of adopted nations, we realize that another chapter will be written of the history of Rashtra and the nation.
As President Ramnath Kovind leaves the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan to arrive here at the saluting base, it's important to remember that today is memorable on account of the unprecedented presence of the 10 ASEAN leaders who will be amidst us today as the chief guests to honor the day. And our first chief guest, His Excellency, Dr. Thongloun Sisoulith, the Prime Minister of the Lao People's Democratic Republic. India and Lao PDR have enjoyed ancient ties of close friendship and cooperation. In fact, post the establishment of official diplomatic relations in 1956, the two nations have grown closer in every sphere, with bilateral and trade relations steadily increasing. In fact, 2017 was a significant year for ASEAN and ASEAN-India relations. While ASEAN celebrated 50 years of its existence, we celebrated 25 years of the ASEAN-India dialogue partnership. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi awaiting the arrival of our other esteemed chief guests. And this is the arrival at the saluting base of our second chief guest, His Excellency Nguyen Xuan Phuc, Prime Minister of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. India and Vietnam celebrated 2017 as the Year of Friendship, commemorating the 45th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations and the 10th anniversary of their strategic partnership. In fact, it's a very, very proud moment because Prime Minister Phuc hosted Prime Minister Narendra Modi during his historic official visit to Vietnam in September 2016.
देश का 69वां गणतंत्र दिवस अविस्मरणीय ऐतिहासिक अवसर, जब 10 आसियान देशों के राष्ट्राध्यक्ष हमारे इस राष्ट्रीय पर्व का हिस्सा बन रहे हैं। जन जन में उल्लास, उमंग सबके चेहरों पर स्पष्ट पढ़ा जा सकता है। हमारी तीसरी सम्मानित अतिथि म्यांमार की स्टेट काउंसिलर आंग सान सू ची का आगमन हो रहा है। सलामी मंच पर माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी द्वारा उनका स्वागत। 1991 में महामहिम आंग सान सू ची को प्रतिष्ठित नोबेल शांति पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया गया था। तीनों सेनाओं के प्रमुख रक्षा मंत्री श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमण, रक्षा राज्य मंत्री डॉक्टर सुभाष रामराव भामरे, विशिष्ट अतिथिगणों का स्वागत करते हुए भारतीय राष्ट्र राज्य के क्षितिज पर सुनहरे कल की लालिमा के साथ एक नए सूर्योदय का परिचायक हमारा गणतंत्र दिवस। विशिष्ट अतिथि दीर्घा देश के गणतंत्र दिवस के चौथे सम्मानित अतिथि थाईलैंड अधिराज्य के प्रधानमंत्री महामहिम जनरल प्रायुत चान-ओ-चा का आगमन हो चुका है। आप राष्ट्रीय शांति और व्यवस्था परिषद के प्रमुख भी हैं और थाईलैंड में इनकी देखरेख में पिछले वर्षों में शांति और समृद्धि के नए अध्याय लिखे जा चुके हैं।
Our fifth chief guest, His Excellency Dato Sri Mohammed Najib bin Tun Abdul Razak, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, alighting from his car. Prior to being the Prime Minister, His Excellency was appointed as the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports and has since held portfolios of Defence, Education and Finance. Warm greetings there by the Prime Minister.
और इधर रायसीना पहाड़ी से
Rini, the parade for all practical purposes has started, at least the chief guests have started arriving. 10 of them, 5 have already arrived. Usually, if it was one of them in the olden days, we used to see the president in his buggy accompany the chief guest, but that tradition has long died.
Yes, the tradition used to be the buggy coming down Rajpath. It was a majestic sight to see, accompanied by the president's bodyguard on the mounted horses. And the buggy itself, I think, has been relegated now to the archives of Rashtrapati Bhavan. But the buggy coming down with, and it's an open buggy, so you would get to see the guests with the president seated in it, and then as they're coming down, they would be waving to the crowds that are seated on either side of Rajpath. So it used to be a beautiful sight, but now because of security reasons, you have moved to better means of transport, and they come down with this. But it's interesting to see that, you know, 10 of these guests coming in, 60 seconds apart. They've managed to, you know, get the timing right. The convoys coming in with their paraphernalia, and they alight and meet and go and take their place up on the saluting days. And if you look at the size of the saluting days now, it's humongous.
100 feet.
100
you pointed
feet.
out 100
That's right.
feet. It's
That's
unprecedented.
right. Yes.
10 chief guests for a Republic Day parade, unprecedented. All of them, I think, within the next 2 to 3 minutes, I think all of them will be here, post which we'll see President Kovind. He's the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. This essentially is his show.
That's right. Also, you know, interesting that when the period between the homage that was paid and the Prime Minister's arrival at the saluting days, you would have patriotic songs being sung, being played out actually. And "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logon," which is, you know, another song which makes you actually stand up and, you know, kind of really be nostalgic about the losses that you've had and as a nation as you move on. So those used to be played out. This time, I think, because you've got 10 guests, I don't think those songs are being played out, or I haven't heard them at least.
I don't hear them either.
Correct. So now it's just the president, who is the supreme commander of the forces, who will come down Rajpath. And as you can see, visibility is still low on the ground. So it's going to be tough to be able to see, you know, his car come down. And you've got the helicopters, which will be atop with the flying past with the ensigns, with the national flag on them. And this year they'll be carrying the ASEAN flag. So you'll have the 4 helicopters in formation going past, preceding.
And the first ceremony, Rini, that we will see will be for the Ashok Chakra.
Yes, that's right.
Will be for the Ashok Chakra.
Posthumously being given to the person that you announced, yes.
To Corporal Nirala.
That's right.
He's the first
31-year-old.
31-year-old. He's from Uttar Pradesh. The first Indian Air Force corporal.
That's right.
Who's getting it? This will be the Indian Air Force's 3rd Ashok Chakra. But for the first time, are they getting it in ground combat? Because it's only last year that after the Pathankot attacks that the Indian Air Force decided it was time for their Garud commanders to have ground experience as well, which is why they have been deputed with the RR in many sectors in Kashmir. And what a tale of bravery it is. What a tale of bravery Corporal Nirala tells us.
Yes, but a tougher day for the widow who comes to collect that award.
It breaks my heart. Yes. Every time the Ashoka Chakra is being received by a widow,
you don't have an eye.
Now.
You don't have an eye that is not moist, and your heart really goes out to the family that receives the honor on behalf of the fallen soldier, and it's really sad. But at the same time, it's also you know, inspirational for the other people in the armed forces and the families to know that their personnel are honored and respected and given the dignity that they deserve.
The Ashoka Chakra is India's highest peacetime military decoration, which is awarded for valor, courageous action or self-sacrifice away from the battlefield. It's the peacetime equivalent of the Paramveer Chakra, Rini. The last and 10th chief guest of this year's Republic Day has now arrived. I think this was the last.
You should also mention that they're all wearing similar scarves, stoles, and I think that is Bandhani from Rajasthan.
Rajasthan, election-bound state.
That's right.
You know, people often accuse journalists of linking everything with the election, but Rajasthan is our most colourful state. So where else would the Bandhani scarves come from but from Rajasthan? And that's Prime Minister Modi. He's been wearing an interesting set of headgears, all Republicans. The last three,
his safas are really, really interesting. And also the colour that they've chosen, red. So it's doing away of the red tape, I guess, symbolically.
Hopefully, yes. As he says, away with the red tape, on with the red carpet, and that's the red carpet for you. That's Aung San Suu Kyi. She has a long association with India and Delhi.
All the spouses are being given the scarves as well. So really decked up. I mean, look at the ceremonial umbrella for the president in the center, and he's flanked by these guests, the vice president and the prime minister of the country. So really a spectacular show.
That's what we are expecting, and we'll probably grade it as well. We do it every year, and every year it gets 10 out of 10. So I don't know why we do that exercise, but we'll do it at around 11:45 or so. General Jaiswal, you're with us. We've started getting pictures from the Rajpath. I know a lot of preparation as far as the armed forces are concerned. A lot of preparation goes into what we'll be seeing over the next hour and a half. I want to ask you, what ceremonial parades like these, especially the Republic Day parade, mean for our armed forces?
Well, it's a representation from various units which come in over there. For us, we just give a message to the nation. Here we are, and you can repose your faith on us. The might is displayed, the precision of marching is displayed, and the valor and I would call the josh which is shown over there by each marching contingent, that does repose faith of the nation on the armed forces, and there is no doubt whatsoever we will live up to the expectations of the nation come what may. So this is just a display to the nation that here we are, we will protect you.
General Jaiswal, hold the thought. We are seeing pictures coming in from the Rajpath, majestic pictures there, all just about said. That's President Kovind, of course. He should be arriving anytime now as well. I spotted Sonia Gandhi there as well. A quick break at this point of time. I think we have time for a quick break, and then we'll come back to more pictures.